Deadly Tarantula Girl coming to you from my private serpentarium. Tonight I am going to be doing a Poecilotheria Regalis breed. I know I've shown you some arboreal breeding before, and the tools that I use are the female, the male enclosure, a large mesh enclosure. Sometimes I use one bigger than this, but I have multiple breedings going on right now. Tongs, net, spray bottle, all the usual. Anyway, what I do is I take the lids off and set the enclosures inside here and allow them to cohabitate in that way. That way they have their regular pheromones and things like that. However, they can come in and come out as they're comfortable, and 90% of the time I get a successful breeding, and about 99% of the time both of my adults emerged totally unscathed and living to breathe and be happy another day. I'm going to, since I am a small person, put these on the floor so I can set the stuff in, and I'll let you guys watch what I'm doing. I'm starting off with my mesh enclosure with damp mulch bedding in the bottom. Once I have my mesh tank all set up, of course I take the lid off and put my female enclosure down in the bottom and take the lid off. Need to watch her to make sure she's not gonna run up your arm, because that's always a possibility, which is very exciting. I'm gonna add a nice big piece of damp cork bark so they have plenty of room to run around and hide on neutral territory. Next, I'm gonna take my male, who you can see is right at the top here, and just set him in there with her. And then just add a little more of a barrier so they can be comfortable cohabitating together. Lastly, I'm going to make it rain a little bit more. I feel like with this much substrate, it's difficult to over wet, although you can, so you need to be careful. Lastly, I put the lid on and then leave them alone to get to know each other, but let's take a closer look inside first. Here is the male enclosure, and there is the male right up top. Those are his little toesies. So my cork, my female, who is hiding like the ladies like to do. So there are all these little nooks and crannies they can go in, which arboreal love, and lots of visual and physical barriers. Like I said, they have the normal pheromones that they are accustomed to smelling, the comfort of their own homes, yet they can both venture out when they feel anxious or endangered. They can return back home, and one rarely follows the other back into their enclosure, even though there are no lids, which is interesting. It's kind of like an unspoken courtesy that the tarantulas have in their culture. Call me crazy, maybe I am anthropomorphizing, but I think it's kind of an unspoken rule in tarantula courtship. This is my setup. I'm going to leave them together for maybe 2 to 7 days, depending on the activity that I'm seeing. Poecilotheria do not mate in front of me. Most of the activity is going to happen at night when it's nice and dark, or else I would attempt to document their breeding. However, I'm just going to leave them alone so they feel nice and calm and safe, and hopefully we'll be touching base with this couple again when she is dropping an egg sac. Hopefully this was specific enough that you can put together your own breeding chamber and be able to breed your animals safely and happily. And if you have any questions, you can ask them in the comments below, or as always, email me at deadlytarantulagirl@yahoo.com. The love is in the air. It's feeling summery outside. It's almost June. Hope you guys like this one, and I'll see you next time.